So Swarm has developed the world's smallest two-way communication satellites. So this is literally one of the satellites, that's it. There's antennas that come out and deploy, but that's the whole system. We've got 7 of these in space, and we're planning to deploy 150. And once 150 are launched, they'll coat the globe, and every point on Earth will be covered at all times with a satellite. And with that, we can offer a connectivity solution. So kind of like internet, but everywhere on Earth, not just near cell phone towers or within Wi-Fi as it is today. And because our satellites are so small, we're able to do that at a price point that is very unique and novel relative to the big SATCOM solutions like Iridium that exist today. So we're offering services at something like 1/100th the cost of existing competitors today, making it affordable for a bunch of different verticals across agriculture, logistics, ground transportation, connected car. We have a collaboration with Ford, global development, energy, national security, all sorts of different things, as well as just connecting people that might go outside of cell range, be it running or backpacking or sailing and want to have a connectivity solution. So people know where they are and they can remain safe. I mean, I'm actually a great sleeper. I sleep very easily. I think some of the biggest challenges are around regulatory, and there's just a lot of hurdles, and the regulatory system can be relatively slow, especially to a small startup that moves very, very quickly. So our company had raised capital, and then 11 months later, we developed and launched satellites, which is exceptionally quickly. And just getting the regulatory approvals to launch future satellites and to do commercial operations is one of the biggest hurdles that we face. And we obviously take that very seriously, and we've hired legal counsel, both internal and external, to help us speed up the process. And it's just something that we don't have a lot of control over. We can develop a new satellite in a few weeks or months. We can't change the regulatory system very quickly. So it's just something that we're constrained by, and that worries me. And we just kind of do everything we can to make sure that that doesn't constrain us too much. Absolutely. So our work with Ford is really exciting. We've been working with them for over a year. We actually came out with that partnership at CES last year, which is a great event to showcase Ford and super small satellites in the same booth in Vegas. And what we're doing with them is we're solving for connectivity when Ford vehicles go outside of cell range and may have an emergency situation, which is a fairly common thing. I grew up in Manitoba, and there's lots of roads and where there's no cell connectivity, and in the middle of a snowstorm in the middle of the winter, that's like the worst case scenario. You go off the side of the road, can't call 911. So that's one of the use cases that we're really excited about. And they're very interested in solving for connectivity, not only in the US and Canada, but internationally, where there's not as great cell infrastructure. So it's mainly about emergency. It's also about relaying critical telematics. And in the future, we'll do additional things like updating engine codes, updating firmware, and generally keeping people and vehicles safe and their location well known. Yeah, so private networks, maybe I can first explain what those are. That would be a batch of satellites launched for one group or a couple of groups. So for example, for a car company or for a government group. And yes, we absolutely see those on the horizon. It's probably not 1 or 2 years, it might be 3 to 5 years out, but there is certainly interest, especially at the price point that we're talking about. So we can put up an entire constellation for far less than the 25 million that we raised, which is extremely exciting, and for the first time the company can invest in that to know that their assets will be securely monitored, they can send back messages from anywhere in the world. So yes, we definitely see that coming sooner rather than later, and we're working towards that with a few different groups. So it's been a very fun event. Thank you so much for the invite and for the opportunity to speak. And I think it's a great place and time for people to come together and hear about emerging technologies and kind of what the future might look like from some of the emerging entrepreneurs and leaders in this space. I've had a great time today, just shared the stage with 2 people I like and admire quite a bit. So I think you guys should keep doing it. I encourage you to do so. I look forward to maybe coming back next year.